Hello Forest Glade families! In this video I'm going to be showing you how to take all that hard work that you did in your 5W chart and turn it into sentences for your story writing. To start, grab the 5W chart that you filled in last time. If you haven't seen the video on how to fill in a 5W chart, please go on Edsby and find that video now. Keep in mind that the picture I used for my 5W chart is different than the picture that you used. But I'll be showing you how to use your 5W chart to build sentences. To keep it simple, we're going to start with the when section, as many stories start with one day or one night or once upon a time. So today, we're just going to start our story with one day. Now I'm going to use the color green for when, and you'll see why in a minute. Next, we're going to use what you wrote down in your where section to help keep our sentence going. Now I have two options here, and I'm going to pick in the forest. So I'm just going to write that right next to where I started my sentence already. If I wanted to, I could have used both and put one day on a branch in the forest, but I decided to keep it more simple. But one day in the forest isn't a full sentence and not a great way to start our story. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to use what we wrote down in our who section to help my sentence grow. Now you should really start to see the different colors. I've used green for when, blue for where, and pink for who. So far, putting those together would read, one day in the forest a frog. But again, one day in the forest a frog isn't a complete sentence, so I'm going to keep building. To finish off my first sentence in a way that makes sense and uses my ideas from my 5W chart, I'm going to finish off the sentence with my very first what. Now it reads, one day in the forest, a frog was sitting on a branch in the rain. Sound like the start to a story? It does to me. If you're putting your pieces together and it's not quite making sense, try saying it out loud a few different times before you write it. That way you'll know if it sounds right. Take a second and notice the order that we built our sentence in. We started with our ideas from when, and then where, and then who. Then we added details from our what section to make sure it made sense. Keep that order in mind when you start your story. When, then where, then who. Now, because I added my first what, I have to add the why that goes with it. You'll remember from our last video that every what gets a why, and that's because the why is where we really start to add detail to our story. Our first why is he loves the rain. So I'm going to add that to my story that I have so far. Remember, because it's a brand new thought, it gets a brand new sentence, starting with a capital and ending with a period. Now I'm going to go back across my chart to my very next what. So I'm going to add that the frog is holding a leaf. Now you'll notice that I haven't added a period yet because I'm going to put a what and a why pair in the same sentence. And I'm going to use the awesome word because. Because is a great way of joining a what and a why together in the same sentence. The why that goes with he is holding a leaf is because it is his umbrella. So in my sentence, I'm going to put he is holding a leaf because it is his favorite umbrella. You'll notice that I also added the word favorite there because it is never too late to add a detail or an idea. Now's a good time to check your work and make sure that it all makes sense. One day in the forest, a frog was sitting on a branch in the rain. The frog loves the rain. He is holding a leaf because it is his favorite umbrella. If it sounds like it makes sense when you read it out loud, you're probably pretty close. If it kind of sounds awkward or unnatural, you might want to reorganize your words a little bit. It always helps to read it out loud or read it to someone nearby who can give you advice on how it sounds. Now I still have one more what and why pair on my 5W chart, so I'm not done yet. I'm going to start with my what, so I'll write that he is all alone. And I'm not going to add a period this time either, because I'm going to join my why with the word because. Now some of you might be wondering when you should put because in the middle of your sentence, or when you should put the what and the why together in one sentence. And the real answer is just try it out. Try saying it a few different ways. Try writing it a few different ways. The way that sounds the most natural when you say it out loud is usually the way that I end up writing it in my stories. He is all alone because he is waiting for his friends sounds like it makes sense to me, so I'm going to go with that. Now my 5W chart has one more detail left. It says in the last bottom part of the Y there that they always play together in the rain. And I think that that's a nice way to end my story. It's all on its own, so it's going to get its very own sentence at the bottom. Now I can look over my work and make sure that it all sounds great and that it makes sense. If I want to add any more details or any more ideas, this is also a great time to do so. One day in the forest, a frog was sitting on a branch in the rain. The frog loves the rain. He is holding a leaf because it is his favorite umbrella. He is all alone because he is waiting for his friends. They always play together in the rain. I think it sounds pretty good. Is it a perfect story? Of course not. Does it have all the detail in the world? No. But can I use it to create more ideas and more details for a story? Absolutely. Now it's time to try with your own 5W chart and the picture that you used a few days ago. Remember that your story will be different, so I'm going to go over the order again real quick. The section that we start with is when. For our story, that was one day. Next, we added what we put for where. And then we added what we wrote down in our who section. And finished it off with our first what to make sense. After that, we just kept going with what and then why, and then what and then why, making sure that every what has a why detail to go with it. And you can see this in the copy in the video where it goes from brown to red, from brown to red. Once again, that order is when, where, who, and then what and why, and what and why, until you have all your ideas and you've added all of your details. And that is how you turn your hard work from your 5W chart into sentences to start building your story. Remember that it is never too late to add any new details or new parts of your story or even a new ending. All of this is about generating ideas. So if you get an idea and you want to use it, write it down before you forget it. And as always, have fun.